Hey everyone, Nathan here from JS Powersports, and this video today is going to be for everyone that has a 2021 Krash Industries carbureted 1200cc jet ski. They all kind of have the same stripe look on them. When you look at the last two numbers on the HIN, it's either going to be the 20 or the 21 depending upon exactly how it was licensed, but underneath the hood is going to tell you the rest, so I'll pop that open right now and show you. Okay, on the engine plate here, these first few numbers are going to tell you what it is. It's a KV 1200 engine, okay? When these first came out, they had a Kavinci ECU in them, and they found out that they were not waterproof, whoever made them, and then they also wanted to change some of the settings and so on in them to make them start easier, and you could send it into Kavinci at that time, and they would modify it, program all the new stuff in there, and then when you got it back, there would be, let's say this is the ECU here, about this section in the middle, there was an LED eye that would come on when you hit the power button and kind of tell you what mode and stuff it was in. If that did not happen originally by somebody, I don't know if it's out of warranty or whatever, but I've heard people say it's taken over a year to get them back. So I just highly recommend just replacing it. What we did for this one here is put in a micro squirt, which you can probably read right on the front there. All of them will have a name you can read on there somewhere. The original Kavinci's went in from the side. They need to have dielectric grease in the plugs to keep moisture and water and stuff out. This one here we put in, we have the pigtail. Here's where the original one went in. And there's the pigtail wire harness that converts it over to micro squirt. Once you get a micro squirt, you can also buy the data cables. There'll be 3 little pins that plug in here and take you to a 3-pin plug, which you can plug into a computer, and you can do diagnostics and some other really cool stuff with it. So I highly recommend upgrading to the micro squirt and getting the data communication cables for it so that you can plug it into a computer and test spark and some other things. One of the big changes that happened when they upgraded the ECUs, and that's on the new micro squirt already, is that we came down in here to the flywheel and they had a recommendation of taking one of the teeth off of it, and then it also changed, you have to change the parameters inside the ECU at the same time to recognize that many number of teeth on the back of the flywheel, and that aided in the ability for this thing to start up a lot easier. Somewhere in these years between 21 and 22, they also took the compression down from 180 down to like 160, 165, which also helped with starting. And those two modifications, that and the ECU, have to be done at the same time in order for the stuff to work right. Now the other thing is the RPM level that this ski has to hit before it will even spark or properly have all the parameters set properly or working properly in the ECU. And I believe it was either 450 or 600. If you have a dinky little battery, it will never get it to the level that it needs to. You're going to heat up all your electronics, and eventually, you could blow stuff up, burn stuff up, whatever. Whenever you have heat, it draws in moisture too. That's another issue. So I can't say enough about having a big battery. On all the ones we do, we put the anti-gravity 680 cold cranking amp battery with the restart feature, which is a button on the front. So if it drains down, it goes into protection mode, and then you come on the front here and you press this button. It's down here somewhere. There it is. And then it re-energizes the system so you can power things back up and get them to start and go again. Super awesome feature. The reason you need a big battery that turns over not just the starter fast but has a lot of backup power is because when that starter cranks over, it draws down your voltage. And for most systems, the minimum is 10.5. I've seen people bring them in here where it drew the voltage down back here on the electronics down to like 8 volts or something, which is way too low to supply the proper power needed to power up all the devices in here, all the electronics, and get this ski to spark when it is supposed to and start right up. Another issue was they came with these little button push primers. The little bulb goes hard in a year. They barely squirt any fuel anyways. So you're better off to get the plunger primer, a little bit of modification to get it in here, but this thing will squirt a ton of fuel in and help your ski start up a lot better and faster every time. There's a video on how to pressurize your fuel system. You also want to make sure that you have the pressure relief valve on your tank as well as the inlet valve, and that they're both working properly and that there's no other leaks around here. This tank needs to be able to hold a little bit of pressure while you operate this ski. After that, we've got a few other modifications and things that we do, like the flow control valve. You may have mentioned or may have seen the light throttle spring on here. And then in the back of the hull, we put on a vacate valve to keep excess water out. That's not a necessity, but for the guys who do long water tricks, they'll like to have that. But anyways, a combination of doing everything right, and you'll have a ski that's very sought after. People love these things, obviously, especially when they're running correctly. And you have enough gas and oil in your tank and enough energy in your body to go out and throw down some tricks and have a good time. And for those that don't know exactly which machine they have, on the front of the engine there'll be a plate. This one here says KV 1200, so we know we've got a 1200cc engine here. It's actually 1162, but no big deal. All right, now I'm taking you to the website, show you where to find the rest of the data to troubleshoot all the stuff on these things. Actually, before that, let me show you one other thing. There's a lot of people who got these skis, not from dealers or anybody that had any knowledge of them, and then hooked all the cables up going down the wrong tubes, wired stuff up through here with wires going across hot pipes and things like that, cause all kinds of issues. The start-stop switch wiring comes in through here, comes around your steering stop here, and then goes down the right-hand side tube. This keeps it away from all the exhaust stuff once it comes down through the tube. There's a little bit of slack in these cables. They're zipped up just right so that when you move the steering back and forth, nothing is getting stretched. Everything is easily moving with the steering. And then once again, that tube comes clear down over here, see it? And it's going to drop these wires out right down back here. I know it's hard to see, but that keeps them away from the exhaust stuff. Now, once they're back here, you do want to make sure that things are zipped up properly and so on, because we've had some where the wires just wind up dangling down here on the engine plates, where it's a little, I mean, it's not real sharp, but over time the engine's going to be vibrating. It's going to wear through the insulation and so on and cause you an issue. Same thing with some of these front wires. You want to make sure they're zipped up nice and tight and snug so that they're not flopping all over the place, and that will keep them in good condition as well. All right, now let's head to the website. Okay, so navigate to jspowersports.com, click on the watercraft button, click on the Krash jet ski here to get into that whole Krash section, or you can go straight to tech support. But if you go here, you're also going to see our video library, and there'll be links to it from other pages too, and there's more stuff on YouTube. But tech support, you're going to choose your 21 right here. And then everything that we have, all the data that was produced by Krash, all the troubleshooting, everything is on this page. Everything we have is here for you. It's all free to look at. And you scroll down, you'll see carb settings, torque settings. If you want us to rebuild carbs, we can do that for you. Here is, there's a troubleshooting for the Hall effect sensor. Here is the flywheel and the recommended tooth that needs to be taken off while the ECU is modified at the same time. And let's see here. Let me hit refresh. We'll put a link up here, or there'll be a link on here somewhere that's going to take you over to the data cable section. Anyways, I know another way to get there. Under the 22s, 23s, this is where the data cable stuff started at, but it can be used in that 21 as well. So there's your Haltech computer, which also came out in late 21 for the PFIs. Here's your micro squirt, and then when you cruise on down here, you'll see some of the cables. And for the 21 specifically, you're going to get the complete three cable system for the 21. and put that in your cart, and that'll get you everything you need to plug it into a computer. And the Tuner Studio is the program we use. It's right here. You can download it for free, and then if you want to check the mapping and so on, the maps are right here that you can load in. If you do load in a map into your new microsquirt ECU, and it's an EFI machine. I know the carburetor ones are not, but you do have to reset the TPS. I always like to spit that out because people get bits and pieces of these videos and don't get all the details. But yeah. Okay, yeah, back to that 21 tech support page right here. Cables are available here. That link will take you right into that other section. If you're totally stumped, obviously call us. If you're not too far away, you can drive, bring your ski over here, or you can back up to the regular tech support section and reserve time, and we can walk you through everything you need from there. So anyways, hope this video is helpful. I know it's a lot of reading and crap nobody wants to do on our website, but there's a ton of data on there, and it'll help you get your ski up and going if you take the time to read through it. So that's the goal. Get out on the water, have some fun with a running ski. So if you need anything else, wetsuits, boots, gloves, all that kind of stuff, just head on over to the regular Watercraft page. Most of it's on there. And we appreciate the support from everybody. Thank you. Signing off, Nathan here from JS Powersports.